agreeing to be a chaperone on the Forbidden City trip. So I'm going to walk you through what's happening at the trip, and then so that you kind of have a feel for what's expected of you and what's going on. So here is the page for my DX that explores it. The content objective: I can use symbols and mathematics in context. I can describe where I find symbols and how they are being used. I can experience one of the pinnacles of Chinese culture. And the students are thinking about, how does the architecture use symbols to create an overall impression? How do I document symbols in mathematics in a concise way? And what is the best way to report what I've documented? So it's important to see what the students are working on. So this is a summative task that the Forbidden City is contributing to. It's not the only thing that goes into this summative task, but there's the reason we go to the Forbidden City is so that we can collect evidence for this task, and it's called the Creative Hunt. It's a Project Zero approach, and I've tweaked it a little bit for the visual arts. What the students are asked to do is to collect evidence of how symbols and mathematics are used in visual arts. So I'm just going to go down to the very last screen. This is the template that's provided the students, and what they should be doing is collecting images, stating what it is, stating who the audience is. And so they've already begun work on this with some other things. I don't have any exemplars in front of me, but if you could imagine in this area, if there's an image, a photograph or a drawing or something like that, and a description of these things right here, as well as the name of the evidence, all right? So the students are collecting evidence in the form of photographs. Normally, if it's a little warmer, we also do drawings, but I don't know how much we'll do that this time. But they're collecting evidence in the form of photographs of how symbols and how mathematics are used in the visual arts. Don't worry if you don't know how that question is answered. The students know. This just is for you to know what they're up to. So here is a map of the Forbidden City. Let me just shrink it down there so it's on your screen. And I can outline how we're going to do this. All right? So what happens is that the bus itself can't get close to the Forbidden City. We're going to be about 1 kilometer away. If you can see my cursor, we're going to be like over here is where the bus is going to stop. And we're going to walk this direction. All right? And this is called the Donghuamen. We're going to walk along here, and then along this way, and it actually kind of, we walk down in here, and then there we are. We're in that kind of entrance way, all right? And the students will enter. The entrance is kind of like these buildings here, and we'll enter in, and then we'll be in the Forbidden City. All right, so you will need whichever ID the school purchased tickets with. I assume that it'll be your passport, unless you're a Chinese national, and then it'll probably be your Shenfenzheng, all right? So it's pretty automated. There's somebody working at the gate, and they look at if you've got a passport, they look at your passport, they type in the number. If the number's registered, then you just go, the gate opens up and you go in. If you're a Chinese national, you just scan your ID card and the gate automatically opens up. To find this information, you ask Wang Ning to make sure that she used, to confirm which ID she used to purchase the ticket. All right, so we go inside, and now we're inside the Forbidden City. We're going to be in here. Now, previously, we had planned on going up through these areas here because there's an exhibit there. I don't know if that exhibit is still open. If it is, and we have tickets, it's free, but you got to register, pre-register, then we'll go in here. All right, so as a whole group, all 80 of us, go in this side, come out that side, okay? There is the ceramics gallery here and the painting gallery here. They're not always open. And usually it's because, if they're not open, it's because they don't have an exhibit. We'll confirm day of. Now, after we go through this, we're going to break up into groups. It'll be roughly 10 to 15 students per teacher. in groups. And I've asked the students to wear name tags. Please also bring your name tag and wear your name tag so they know what to call you, especially if you haven't taught these students. All right? Now we're going to work in we're going to rotate. So there's three main parts that you got to know about. All right? There's the sculpture galleries, which are over here. And actually I'm pretty sure this is open now, or no, here, this part is open now. Sculpture galleries are right in here, right? And they're also kind of connected around in the back here. And then there's the treasure gallery, which is all along this side here. Hopefully you can see my cursor moving up and down there. The treasure gallery, and then there's the gardens right in here, all right? And the goal is that we don't all go to the same place at the same time. That we'll come up through here, and then we'll start to split off. And some go here, we'll break into thirds, we'll decide the day of. Some go to the treasure gallery, some go to the gardens. All these buildings are pretty interesting too, but there's more for the students to collect back here. And then we'll work, sorry about that, the only time I ever get phone calls is when I'm trying to record something. What we'll do is then we'll rotate in a anti-clockwise fashion. So those in the sculpture gallery will move towards the treasure gallery. Those in the treasure gallery will move towards the garden. Those in the garden will move towards the sculpture gallery. And it'll keep on like that. Because it's a Wednesday, we have to be getting out of there at 2 o'clock. So try to get through all of those. We'll be in touch by phone. And then at 2 o'clock, we're going to meet here in the back. All right there in the back. And then we have to kind of walk off it's off the screen, but we have to walk out and then off to the side of the road to get picked up by the bus. All right? I'll come through with the unit plan, not that you'll really need it, but you'll be able to see it. I'll come through with a student list and a printed version of this map, as well as numbers and everything like that on Monday. So I hope you're all excited about it. I'm very excited about it. I want to show you one more thing before I let you go, and that is what I tell the students to bring. So here is the packing list for the students, and I highly suggest the packing list for you. Number 1, a positive mental attitude. Number 2, your passport and school ID. Number 3, warm clothes and an extra mask. Number 4, food and drink. A note about food and drink. There are places to buy food. They're not very, I don't know what to say. There's not very many of them, and it's not a wide variety. Also, because we have to leave an hour earlier, you leave it up to your group. You decide how you want to do the eating. If you want to do some standing around and snacking, which is what I've been suggesting my students to do so we can have time, go ahead. But if you do want to sit down and eat, go ahead and do that. Do that at the discretion of the group. All right, good walking shoes. Forbidden City is a walking place, very few places to sit down and rest, so make sure you're wearing comfortable shoes. A fully charged phone and a camera if you wish. You can skip this number 7, something to write and draw on and with, and a bag to keep it all in. Keep your hands free. All right, looking forward to it, everybody. Be on the lookout for me Monday, coming to you with a packet.